Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our topic is agglomeration theory. Our group 7 consists of Zulfi, Muhammad Firzat, and me, Abdullah. Agglomeration theory, or sometimes called cluster theory, is a phenomenon of concentration of specific activities in a particular area. These activities can be industrial or economic. In this presentation, we're going to talk about introduction, definition and concept, type of agglomeration economic, benefit of agglomeration, impact of agglomeration, scale of agglomeration, level of agglomeration, and also balance index from Silicon Valley as an example. Agglomeration refers to the clustering of firms together in a particular geographic area. Also, agglomeration describes the mechanism that causes employees and firms to co-locate geographically. Agglomeration usually happens when a number of companies producing similar or complementary goods locate next to each other. Definition and concept. Marshall, in his book Principle of Economy, was the first one to produce this concept, and he said, concentration of specialized industries in particular location. Alfred Weber, in his theory, industrial location theory, introduced the concept of agglomeration as one of factors for determining a company location. Montgomery said adjustment location associates with a grouping of companies, labor, and consumer, especially to minimize costs such as transportation, information, and communication costs. Markson defined agglomeration as a location that is not easily changed due to external savings that are open to all companies that are located close to each other. Type of agglomeration. There are two primary types of agglomeration: economic, those that result from any activities near specific facilities, localization economic, and those that result from any density of economic activities in an area, and the urbanization economic. The first one, urbanization economic, benefits derived from the agglomeration of population, namely common infrastructure such as utilities and public transit. The second one, localization economic, benefit derived from agglomeration of a set of activities. These activities can be industrial activities or commercial activities. In this kind of agglomeration, companies share infrastructure and supply chain.
Now, I want to explain about the reason why it should be agglomeration. The reason for agglomeration can be divided into three main categories. The first is matching or labor market pooling. Its skilled and trained workforce, rare ones, can be hired on location by various companies. The second is learning or information spillovers. Its important information can be used together at that location. The third is sharing or local input sharing. Is share production input with other similar company in that location. After that is about impacts of agglomeration. There have two impacts of agglomeration. The first, this company can use shared facilities which will be more cheap when used together. For example, shared toilet, shared cleaning service, shared canteen, and joint repair service. The second, the cost of purchasing for each company becomes lower. By gathering companies in one location, then transportation cost per unit will be lower. For example, one cell phone truck only need to go to one location, there is be easy. If the stores are spread out, then it should be good to various places. After that is scale of agglomeration. If we talk about scale of agglomeration, there is assumed that agglomeration economics operate at the metropolitan level. However, cities are not monocentric, but rather polycentric, and the effect of agglomeration are not uniform across the cities. By Giuliano and Yuan in 2090, agglomeration occurs at a many different geographic levels, so scale of agglomeration is metropolitan level. After that is level of agglomeration. Level of agglomeration, there is have four level of agglomeration. The first, geographical agglomeration. Geographical agglomeration is a geographical location where enough resources have accumulated to give a competitive advantage to business in a given economic branch. The second is horizontal agglomeration, are built between business that compete for the same market. Example, multiple products combine to establish a retail shop. The third, vertical agglomeration, are alliance between business which belong to different level of the same supply chain. And the fourth, sector agglomeration. Sector agglomeration is operating together from within the same economic sector, example Silicon Valley. It will be explained with Zuhal about Silicon Valley.
The Balassa index is used to calculate agglomeration, and the uniqueness of this index can be used to distinguish factor specialization exports, which is represented by labor. The quantifier of this index represents the sub-region of the total workforce in manufacturing industry sector, where the more centralized an industry is, the greater its Balassa index. The equation of Balassa index can be seen as in this slide, where I means sector, J means territory, and E means labor. The numerator of this Balassa index presents the regional share of the total workforce in the medium-large industrial sector. The more concentrated an industry is, the greater the Balassa index. Agglomeration is said to be strong if the Balassa index number is above 4, or average and moderate if the value is between 2 and 4, and weak if the value is between 1 and 2, while a value of 0 to 1 means no agglomeration or area doesn't have a comparative advantage for agglomeration. The following is an example of calculating the Balassa index, where there is time series labor data for the cities of Bandung and West Java. Based on the Balassa index formula, to find the agglomeration value in 2010 can be calculated in the following way. The number of industrial workers in the city of Bandung divided by the total workforce in the city of Bandung divided by the number of the workers in the West Java, and then divided by the total workforce in the West Java. Then an agglomeration value is 1.58 can be produced, and so on for the other years. Based on this table, if we relate it to the interpretation in the previous slide, it is known that in 2010, 2011, and 2014, the agglomeration in the city of Bandung can be categorized as weak, whereas in the 2012 and 2013, agglomeration did not exist in the city of Bandung. After knowing the theory of agglomeration, are there any examples of the agglomeration that are happening in the world now or in the past? So we entered into the example of agglomeration in Silicon Valley, California. In the mid to late 90s, several successful computer technology related companies emerged in Silicon Valley in California. The surge in the number of Silicon Valley startups led to a number of venture capital firms relocating to or expanding their valley offices. This in turn encouraged more entrepreneurs to locate their startups here. In other words, the venture capitalists, the sellers of finance, and the dot-com startups, or the buyers of finance, clustered in and around a geographical area. The cluster effect in the capital market has also led to a cluster effect on the labor market. As more companies start up in Silicon Valley, programmers, engineers, etc., realized that they would find greater job opportunities by moving to Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley has remained relevant through the decades. The 60s until the 2000s was a different generation, but something ties them together. This intense computer technology industry linked all of the generation together, where they share this belief that technology will be a means by which we make the world a better place. Beyond that, these companies also love or need the hustle, which is survival of the fittest. These companies had a partnership with the rest, but the rest won't fit them, at least not for free. So, the question, is Silicon Valley a product of agglomeration? Then yes, Silicon Valley is a home to a special cluster of consumer internet firms given the very high agglomeration benefits in this industry.